If you haven't used onions for hair growth yet, then no offense, but where have you been hiding? Because it's been one of the oldest but powerful remedies that has been on the internet for several years. But many people have been afraid because it is stinky onions. But this natural hair growth remedy can work on many types of hair growth problems, whether it's autoimmune, nutritional, or some type of fungus. But many people are afraid to use it. And the first question that they are wondering is if their hair is going to smell like onions. But to be honest, a lot of people are skeptical about all type of DIYs. And I found that to be true because of all of the comments that are in my comment section under each and every video that I create. No matter how many times I state that I've been applying these DIYs ever since 2018, faithfully and on a consistent basis, most people are still going to hold their phone and instead of buying these ingredients and applying it to their scalp and using it on a religious/consistent basis, they'll instead spend most of their time asking some of the same questions that I stated in each video, or they'll either talk about how they can't use that certain ingredient and will ask if it can be substituted, when the answer is going to majority of the time be yes, because these are DIYs, meaning do it yourself. So it's not one big creator out here that made the rules of adding certain concoctions together in order to create hair growth. But what they've done instead, like I have, they studied each herb and what they will do as far as applying it to your scalp. And when you've studied herbs, then you'll know that you can either drink them as a tea, or some of the other ingredients like these onions can either be eaten all by itself or can be added to your food, which is internally giving you the nutrients and the vitamins that your body needs in order to reach to your hair, in order to receive a good amount of hair growth. But I'll get back to the subject of fear a little later because it is very important to talk about, and it plays a major and the main role in how long we want our hair to grow. But what is so special about an onion and why it grows your hair is because it is filled with sulfur. Sulfur is not necessarily related to hair loss, but it is related to the raw material that can help build the main protein in hair, which is called keratin, because keratin is sulfur-based. Onions have the highest amount of quercetin, which is going to help your hair. It helps attack auto T cells, which is a situation causing alopecia, yeast, mold, fungus, dandruff, and also other problems that you could have going on your scalp. Quercetin helps increase the growth hormones of the hair follicles, which is right at the root of the hair itself. Red onions is a better choice than the yellow or white onion because it has more quercetin. Now, onion tends to grow hair like crazy, and it is scientifically proven that it can grow your hair to your tailbone. But I must add that your hair ain't gonna go nowhere if you don't retain your length by taking care of your ends. And yes, I said ain't on purpose, because by not preserving and taking care of your ends, they are actually breaking off at the same rate, or in some cases even faster than the new growth that is coming out of your scalp. When new hair grows from your scalp, in which everybody hair grows, unless you have an underlying or internal medical condition in which hair follicles are destroyed, resulting in permanent hair loss. But if that's not your situation and your hair has been ear length for 5 years, then I must tell you that your hair has been growing, but it's been breaking off so fast to where you don't believe that it even grows. But if you've ever worn box braids or any other type of braid style and you kept them in for a month or two, then what made you feel that it was due to be taken down? I can pretty much answer that question for you. 9 times out of 10, it was due to the fact that you had new growth, which is, let's say it together, new hair growing from your scalp. But when you received that new hair, then what did you do with your old hair after taking that style down? How did you maintain that old hair? How did you take care of your ends? Because you do know that the hair that is at your ends is dead, and the hair that is coming out of your scalp is alive. And the more it grows and the more it pushes down, it becomes dead. But just because it's dead, that doesn't mean that it's destroyed. And just because it's dead doesn't mean that it has to go. It just needs to be nurtured and cared for in order for your hair to grow further and further down your back, all the way down to your tailbone, and even as far as your knees or ankles. And I know that it may seem like I'm over exaggerating, but I'm not. Just Google black people with long hair down their back, past their butt, past their knees, or down to their legs. And yes, you may get a couple fake images. You may even get a couple of results showing people with weave in their hair. But look past those and just look for the ones that is showing the real hair, because trust me, they are out there. And you can also look up white people, Hispanic, and other races as well. But I mainly mention black people because it has been stated by several people that black women or black people in general cannot grow long hair. And that is absolutely not true. Some of us may need to nurture and take care of our hair a little bit better than the next, but it is absolutely a myth that our hair cannot grow. And it is a fact that onions grows your hair absolutely fast. Your hair typically grows in half of an inch a month, but applying onions is going to add an extra inch or more depending on your growth rate. So if your hair grows slow and you apply this onion to your scalp on a consistent basis and you receive an extra inch in that month, and that is great. And if your hair grows at a normal rate and you actually receive a whole inch of growth, then that is great as well. Genetics really don't play an important part in it like we really think that it does, because if your hair is growing fast but it is breaking off just as fast versus a person whose hair grows slow, but they use Ayurvedic herbs and DIYs on a consistent basis because they learn to keep their hair in the anagen phase, which is the growing phase, a little while longer than the resting and the shedding phase. And they're actually treating their hair like it is their crown, which many people are actually out here doing. And they are not claiming genetics as their excuse, because even they know that plants are supposed to grow and that they very well do grow. But when they buy that plant and take that plant into their home, but they choose to neglect it by not watering it and not giving it the proper sunlight that it needs, and you know that even not talking to it sometimes could even hinder the growth. So you don't think that our hair needs that as well? And ain't nobody telling y'all to start talking to y'all hair, but don't knock it unless you've tried it, because there are actually people out there that do talk to their hair. And while it does seem unusual, and there's no scientific evidence directly linking to it, but I will say that the way people think and speak about their hair can impact their overall approach to hair care. This can be a part of a self-care that helps them feel more engaged in maintaining their hair's health. That's just like the opposite of self-care as far as hair's health is damaging and destroying your hair. And I know that a lot of people do it unknowingly, but also a lot of people be tired and frustrated with their hair when it's too thick, too thin, or simply isn't doing what you want it to do. Combing your hair while frustrated and even saying that you are tired of this hair. Your hair makes you sick. It's going to cause you to rip, tear, and snatch, and also even cause you to comb through your hair very aggressively. And that is why people say do not do your hair while you are mad or while you are in a hurry. And I know that it may seem like I've drifted off of the point of why applying onions to receive faster growth is very important, but actually I haven't. I tend to do this in my videos just so I won't be telling you guys what to apply to your hair without telling you what it does, and also while telling you what you are either doing to harm your hair or what you are not doing to help retain your length. Because a lot of people will apply these DIYs but still will neglect their hair and still will abuse their hair. But applying such a powerful ingredient like onion, which is scientifically proven to give you mad crazy growth, then you will need this information on how to retain the length and be able to show off all the hair growth that you've received. But back to the benefits. Onions thickens the hair. So if you have thin hair or if you've been suffering from thinning hair recently. Then applying onions to your scalp is going to give you a little more thickness than you had before. But don't be expecting so much thickness to where you can't even part your hair, because I'm not saying all of that. But with consistent use, you will see noticeable improvements in the hair thickness and reduced hair fall. It stimulates blood circulation to the scalp, and your hair can actually grow very slow if you don't have enough blood circulation to the scalp. So onions will give you that faster blood circulation that you need. So if you have any bald spots, patches, or receding hairlines, then onions is what you need. So if you've been dealing with those type of issues, which are more major than you just wanted to grow your hair from chin length to shoulder length, then onions is a better choice for the balding, the receding, and the missing patches. And I know that a lot of people don't like to use it because of its smell, but I'm telling you that it works. And hopefully what I'm adding to it at the end of this video may help you as well, as far as masking the smell. Now, the side effects of using onions is that it can dry your hair out. So when applying it to your scalp, be sure to apply it as a pre-poo. And a pre-poo is something that you do before applying shampoo to your hair. So when applying it in two different ways, like you see me doing in this video, I chose to make an onion hair growth oil by using sunflower oil as choice, which is a pretty light oil but offers numerous benefits for hair, including deep conditioning, deep moisturization, reduced breakage, and enhanced shine. Its light texture allows for easy absorption, helping to compact dryness and frizz while promoting healthier, more manageable hair. And while onions are filled with sulfur, I still decided to add just 1 drop of MSM powder. My choice of country apple fragrance to mask the smell, and Germaben Plus as a preservative, just in case there are any leftover liquid particles. After I allowed the onion and oil to simmer for about 15 minutes. And although MSM is not sulfur itself, it is a compound that contains a significant amount of sulfur, approximately 34%. It plays a vital role in cell repair and growth, along with many other things other than the hair. But as we know that it is found in onions, but it is typically a small amount. So let me say it in another way for those who either do not like to listen to the whole entire video and like to leave comments at the bottom asking the same exact question, or for those that just can't hear too well. But onions are a natural source of MSM, but the concentration is relatively low. But remember how I was stating before that onions can be a little bit dry? Well, please don't let that alarm you and cause you to not use, because that is the purpose of diluting the spray with water and choosing sunflower oil for the onion oil to combat the dryness. And by using it as a pre-poo, you are washing it right back out. But then there's the question that is asked majority of the time: how long should we keep it in? If you know that your hair grows slow, then an hour or 2 is how long you should keep yours in. And if your hair grows at a normal rate, then 30 minutes to an hour is how long you should keep yours in. If you are of a different race and you shampoo your hair every single day, then these 2 products can still be applied to your scalp, but they can be applied every day, then shampooed out after allowing it to sit from 30 minutes up to an hour, which solely depends on your rate / speed of growth, along with your hair's condition, like low density, low porosity, high density, high porosity, thickness / thinness of your hair. And that is why I state in majority of my videos is that you have to learn your hair, so you already know what your hair does and what it doesn't does, what it can take and what it cannot take, so you'll know how long or how less of a time that you should keep it in. But I will say that I am not applying this to my hair strand, but strictly to my scalp. But y'all can do what you want. Just don't come back and say I told you. But a lot of the drying and the breakage comes from these onion water challenges that you've seen many people doing in the past, and some are still doing it today. And it's no different from the rice water challenge that I tell y'all about all the time, and how so many creators have done those challenges but have not came back and told you how their hair suffered tremendously behind it. They out here putting just straight rice on their hair strand without adding any moisturizing and conditioning ingredients in the concoction, when even the Yao women that apply to their hair on a religiously, consistently basis, which have been doing for several generations, don't even just add rice all by itself, but they add other ingredients for a reason. But y'all be out here following these trends that started from the past. Then when someone new comes along and show you a new way, a safer way, then y'all start leaving 1,001 comments out of fear, like I stated in the beginning of this video, along with asking others in the comments section to let them know if they've tried it before. Because of fear, but wasn't nobody afraid when their favorite natural hair guru was pouring all of that rosemary water on the top of their head all the way down to their roots every single day, or dipping their head in that bowl full of rosemary water without adding not one single drop of aloe vera juice or rose water to that doggone me concoction. Y'all let them tell you how rosemary is a powerhouse for hair growth, and although it is, they forgot to tell you how potent it is, and due to it being so potent, it has a lot of drying effects as well. Let's not act like that overusing or abusing a good thing cannot potentially be or turn bad for you. But nobody was afraid to follow their lead though, and more than half of them received protein overload, causing their hair to break like crazy. But they failed to update you with that video, and more than half of their audience suffered from it. But I do understand that some of the fear comes from just that alone, but not all of it. Most people tend to watch the videos, see the amazing results that you get from it, also see that you are adding moisturizing and conditioning agents to it, and will still rather ask more questions than trying it themselves. And I know that you have to be cautious, but if a set of people have left a comment saying that they've tried it or that they are about to try it, then why do some of the people still choose to waste time by asking the question under a DIY video with coffee as one of the main ingredients, if it is regular or instant? And I promise that I'm not coming for anyone, but I tend to answer these same questions over and over. But let me just Google the difference for you real quick. Google search says the key difference between regular or ground and instant coffee lies in the preparation. Regular coffee is made by brewing ground coffee beans with hot water, while instant coffee is created by brewing coffee, concentrating it, and then drying it into granules or powder. So it has nothing to do with the difference that it will make in your concoction. The coffee that I show in my videos is something that I have had over time and that I was using when I was selling my hair growth product. The main thing that I mention in my coffee videos is that medium to dark coffee is better, and then I share the benefits of why it is better. But child, the hair growth from the coffee don't care if it's coming from regular or instant. The scalp just knows that it's coffee, and the blood flow immediately starts stimulating to cause that new growth to start pushing through. That's it, and that's all. But fear will cause people to ask 1,000,001 questions, causing them to not even make the hair growth products at all. Then there goes their hair, still being stuck at the same length and still growing at the same slow growth rate. But my scalp don't agree with coffee. Can I substitute it for rosemary? Girl, if you don't just go ahead and add that rosemary without asking, I don't have okra, but can I use marshmallow root instead? Have you tried Googling it? Where you see okra and marshmallow has that same mucilaginous and gooey consistency because they both are a moisturizer and a detangler. Where can I buy this Dermaben Plus? Amazon, in which I state that that particular one did not come from Amazon, but I've had it quite some time due to me temporarily closing my website down. And that bottle barely have even a few drops left of it in it. But I have bought Dermaben Plus from Amazon before. And for those of you that don't know what Dermaben Plus is, it is a preservative that helps you keep the shelf life of your product a little while longer than what the refrigerator will do. A preservative is what store-bought products have added to their bottles in order to give them 6 months to a year or even up to 2 years of a shelf life without the product going rancid. But here's the $1,000,000 question that is asked in just about all of my videos. Drum roll. How long will the spray last in the refrigerator? I don't know, 3 to 5 days or even a week, because that's what your other content creators keep telling you. But what you haven't realized is that they also keep telling you to apply these DIY growth products every 3 to 5 days. But I'm here to tell you that the math just ain't mathing. If you spray your scalp today, then put it in the refrigerator, but come back and spray your hair 2 days later, then put it back in the refrigerator, then how can you possibly be able to apply it to your scalp for the second time? By then, it's already time to throw it away. So how are you receiving major hair growth results, if any? You've been watching other creators make Ayurvedic hair growth teas for years without adding any moisturizing and conditioning liquids, and they've been causing y'all to dry y'all hair out. And that's why a lot of y'all are afraid to receive any new information from any new content creator like myself that y'all have recently discovered, when in fact I've been doing this since 2017, haven't used any store-bought products since then, when most DIY creators will make a DIY conditioner, or so they say, and will still add a store-bought conditioner to a lot of Ayurvedic ingredients, when in fact you can make your own conditioner from scratch. A lot of them apply growth sprays and growth oils, but follow up by shampooing their hair with a store-bought shampoo. Store-bought shampoos are filled with alcohols, parabens, and toxins. But then there are some that create their own version of a DIY shampoo by adding Ayurvedic herbs to a bowl, steeping it, then pouring a store-bought shampoo into that bowl, thinking that it's only for the suds purposes. But what they don't realize is that they just mix natural ingredients with chemicals. And I'm not here to throw any shade, because if you notice that a lot of them are turning around and adding liquid moisturizing and conditioning ingredients like aloe vera juice to their DIY concoction. And that is just like this onion juice hair growth spray and this onion oil. I refuse to tell you to leave this on your scalp every day without shampooing it out, due to me not adding any liquid moisturizing and conditioning agents. I'm about to shampoo mine out in the next hour. But what I also won't tell you is that you can't use this on your scalp every day. If you choose to use the spray every day, then add your moisturizers and conditioners to it. But most importantly, add the preservative regardless, because you've clearly been cheating your hair from its maximum growth. You all have a blessed one.